Welcome to a really interesting bit of the day, because I'm going to introduce you to some amazing companies and the guys who lead them. They are FiReStarters, and they are companies changing the world for the better. And I can tell you some of these ideas are jaw-dropping. I've been talking to them. So first of all, I'm going to give about 5 minutes to each of them to tell us what their company is about. Dan Simon, who is the president and CEO of Heliae Technology Holdings. Is that right, Dan?
That's
Did
correct.
I pronounce it right?
You have it.
Tell us about it.
Thank you for a moment here. Our company was started in 2008. We're an algae technology company. Our goal is to basically be a part of every algae production facility as the industry scales over the next 10 to 15 years. We were started by a partnership of Science Foundation of Arizona, and Bill Harris, I believe, is in the right here at front, as well as Don Budinger. And in addition, a partnership with the members of the Mars family of Mars Incorporated. It's a large 30 billion plus year integrated food company that's privately owned. And back in 2006, they are a privately owned company, a 100-year-old company, and they do 25-year look-aheads and 100-year look-aheads. Being a private company, unlike a public company, they ask big questions and try to respond to them in long-term aspects. So the drivers to setting up the company as an algae technology company was answering 4 key questions. In 25 years, what do we do to feed 9 billion people? Because that's where we'll be. The second question is, how do you diminish the amount of CO2 we emit into the atmosphere? Third question, how do you manage water resources between people and industry? And how do you do this by not diminishing economic expansion on a sustainable basis, if you all buy into the fact that we are in an unsustainable expansion right now? They did this, and as they analyzed it for 2 years, they looked at hundreds of different technologies and arrived at algae, similar to how, if you all listened to Craig Ventner's discussion last night. It's been around for millions of years and just hasn't been able to be utilized. And drivers to that are simply that the technology to scale it up commercially have been unavailable until recently. So where Craig's working on the synthetic biology associated with developing strains that have characteristics that grow algae, we're focused on the development of the platform upon which that algae grows. We've invested $35 million so far over the last 4 years into developing a commercially viable technology platform right there in Phoenix, Arizona. We see algae as providing anything from a service related to water, wastewater remediation, utilizing algae as a filtration unit. You take the integration approach that Mark talked about last night, and you basically take an algae as a food for waste streams. It basically collects waste streams, phosphorus, CO2, and nitrates, and you create products out of it. As well, you can make hundreds of different kinds of products from algae, whether they be feed, food, fertilizer, cosmetics, pharmaceutical, nutraceuticals, fuels, and bio-based chemicals. So our target is products and services related to algae. Today we have 73 people. We have just announced that we'll be building a commercial facility of 20 acres over the next 18 months in Phoenix, Arizona. We've also announced that we have an investment from a large Asian integrated food company. That company is called the Salim Group, and we will be building a facility in Australia, Indonesia, somewhere in Southeast Asia or that area. This is a global platform company. You have to be able to show that you can do this. So our phase 1 is to actually build some facilities and long-term provide the technology and the platforms to grow algae commercially viably in the future in many other places around the world. And that's kind of our short story.
Dan Simon, thanks very much, from Heliae Technology Holdings. I'm going to say thank you to Don Pickering of One Ocean, to Dan Simon of Heliae Technology Holdings, to David Sana of Woodall Tech, to Kian Sane of Independer, and John Vadino of One to the World. Thanks ever so much for all of you. Please show your appreciation.